Thank you. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I believe what we are going to discuss this afternoon is very, very important, very critical. For me, it is a passion for me, especially because I believe in this nation very, very seriously. And I've been involved at several levels in various activities. If you were to know me a few years ago, I was a very fiery writer. I'm sure almost everybody here, if you are on social media or you read articles, you would have come across one of my articles at one time or the other. I used to be very active also on social media, very, very active. At a point, I had over 90,000 followers on X, almost 50,000 on Facebook and all of that. And I used to write columns even for newspapers because some were begging me I must write for them constantly. But I slowed down for some reasons, which I'm going to share with you today. And that is the reason why I believe that we need to move if we are going to actually build the nation of our dreams, which is not an 100 meters race. It is a marathon race. But many of us here are very impatient, and we are right to be impatient anyway, But it is not going to be a walk in the park. We need more executioners than talkers. Our nation is full of about 200 million talkers. But you can imagine if we have only 10 million doers, we will actually move forward more than we are doing right now. So that's just a summary of the objectives of what I intend to achieve today. I'm going to tell you a story, my personal story. And I want to believe that that story might inspire a few people here to begin to move from influence to impact. Okay, can I go ahead? Now, let's look at the definition. Okay? Now, influence, give me my slides, please. The slides. Do we have the slides? Can we run the slides? I have a slide, I have a video. Can we run the slides? Okay, so let's define influence. So influence is the ability to, to sway, to shape opinions and behaviors and ideas. That's influence. And that is where largely a lot of people are. Okay, you want to sway opinion, you want to shape it, you want to shape behavior, you want to shape ideas. So we have a lot of conferences, people are talking, people are writing. On social media, people are agitating. There's a lot of activism going on. And we want to actually influence how this nation is built. That is a lot of what is going on right now. Some people even call themselves influencers, okay? You want to shape opinion. You want to shape behavior. You want to really espouse an idea. But you see, impact is very tangible. Impact is very measurable. Impact is about transformation. Impact is a direct consequence of the influence. And that's why we're saying we want to move now from influence to impact. The way to build a nation really is, influence is a good way to start. But then we need to look at transformation. We need to look at impact. We need to begin to look at moving just from ideas that we are trying to espouse to actually execution of those ideas. Okay, media, do you have my slides? I just think it will be better for people to be able to follow if they have those slides. Is media struggling with the slides? Okay, slides, and then I have a video. Okay, so what's influence? Influence, you can actually say, is the how and the why. The how and the why, that's influence. Okay, is the how, is the why. Is the capacity to move people to shape thoughts, to inspire action, to shift perspectives. And usually it is done through words, it is done through presence, it is done through example. But when you look at impact, impact is actually the what and the result. The what and the result. And it is measurable, tangible transformation. You begin to see evidence in lives that are changed. You begin to see evidence in communities that are built. You begin to see evidence in systems that are reformed as a direct consequence of the action that was taken. As a direct consequence of the action that was taken. So for many years, I actually thought that influence was the goal. Oh, you bring a lot of young people and you speak to them. I thought influence was the goal. But the truth of the matter is, influence without impact is just noise. It's just noise. But the real mandate begins when influence becomes a bridge for others to cross. A bridge for others to cross. Okay? So what I want to do today is to share a short story of something I've been personally involved in. And I thought the slides are going to do justice to it. Media, do we have the slides? Someone confirmed to me today that they have the slides and it was okay. Working on it. Okay, so let me begin my story. 2 years ago, the result of JAMB came out. UTME came out 2 years ago. And it was bloody. About 2 years ago, it was very bad. So many poor scores. And this was being discussed very actively in social media. Everywhere we're talking about how bad the scores were that year. And in my heart, I began to think, what can I do? So I reached out to a young person who comes from my community, from my hometown. I'm from Adeyinka in Osun State. I'm from Adeyinka in Osun State. If you don't know, Adeyinka is a small town that is very close to Gbogan. It's not far from Ife. Adeyinka is the place where the late Benga Adeboye came from, if you know him. Okay, and Matthew Ashimolowo is also from my town, Adeyinka. So it's a small town just close to Gbogan. So I called a young boy who is very active in that community. And I called him. I said, can you please find out if there are people from Adeyinka who scored over 200, in JAMB, so that I can see what I can do, maybe hand out a little token. In my mind, I was thinking I'll give them 50K just to, encourage them and all of that. The guy began to scout around, and he could not get anybody who scored 200. He looked and looked and looked and looked, and I said, nation building actually starts from identifying problems. And look, there are a lot of problems around. And we are specialists in identifying problems. But in actually profiling real solutions is where the problems actually sit. So when I discovered that we could not get people who scored 200, in my mind I said, okay, how do we solve this problem? So I decided to approach the secondary schools that were in the community. And I decided to approach the principals. And I said, please, can you give me a classroom block? It might be one that that is in disuse, but I want a classroom block and this is my idea. And of course, they asked me to approach the state government. Initially, one person gave me the go-ahead. And when we started working, then they stopped us. And they said, we have to go and get permission from the state government, SUBEB and all of that. Thankfully, somebody who had about the idea stepped in and spoke to the state government, and they allowed us. Now, the facility they gave us was not in use. It was a poor, state of building. I wanted to show you the video and all of that, how we met it. So I took it over and we started working on it. And I decided that not only was I going to do something about JAMB and all of that, I was going to actually build a digital hub in Adeyinka. So what we did was to put together a 30-man room, a room that has seating capacity for 30 students, okay, with computer, everything on solar 24/7, everything on Wi-Fi, and then we fortified the whole place. I got a security guard. I'm going to actually show you some of the curriculum that we use in that place. Okay, so we got that place together. It took me some time, put that place together. I knew there was no way. Are we okay now? I knew there was no way that I could put a generator and all of those things there. It's on now. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, just go. Next slide. Give me the next slide. We're done with this. Give me the next slide. We're done with this. Give me the next slide. Aha. So this was the state of the place when I met it. All right? And then we continued to work. I knew that for that place to succeed, we needed 24 hours power supply. So I knew it was going to be on solar. Okay? I knew definitely that we could not sustain it with buying petrol and diesel, which would be stolen. So it was 24/7 on solar. Give me the next slide. That was when we were working on it. Give me the next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, that's the outside. Okay, next slide. So we had started working on it here. They'll give me permission. We had to fortify it. Next slide. So you can see how we're transforming it. You know, the suspended ceilings and all of that. Give me the next slide. Okay, so we had started setting up, you know, the computers, and I decided it was going to be 30. Now, today's the first day I'm going to reveal why I set up a 30-seater digital hub. And it was a spiritual reason. I set it up because David had 30 mighty men. And I wanted from that community for a minimum of 30 mighty men to arise, who are going to also inspire others, who are going to be digital entrepreneurs, people who will, in the next 10, 15 years, will be hearing their names in different parts of the world. So that was the motivation. So I set this up. This was us setting it up, digital hub. You can see fans right there because of the capacity of the solar. Cannot take AC, but we needed something that would make it cool. Next slide. Okay, that's the place. Next slide. Okay, that's the digital hub. So we decided to make it a world-class facility where anybody, any child can come in and learn. Okay, pause it there. Do you have the video? If you have the video, play the video now, please. Can give it some volume. That was how we met. Okay. Painting, ceilings, the walls. And you can see the transformation gradually happening. Rechargeable wall fans. And then you can see the desk, chairs. Then you can see the computers. We have to install certain softwares. You can see the transformation of the buildings. Right in that little town for you. And then we put a projector on the screen. 30 students, 2 teachers at a time, fully powered 24/7 solar. Okay, now, if you want to clap, clap. Let's go back to the slides. Let's go back to the slides. And we started, this October is going to make it 2 years. Power has never gone off. You know, there's been consistent teaching in that place. Okay, next slide, give me the next slide. Give me the next slide. Next slide. And we have different, it's not limited to anybody. So we have had somebody who brought his students from Ilekeu. I would have shown you the video when the guy was thanking me in his video and he was praying in the Islamic way to thank the owner of this place and all of that. So we have had people from Ileke, we have people from everywhere come to use the facility. Now, when we started, we wrote to all there are 20 secondary schools in my town, wrote to all of them that the facility is for everybody, but people need to register, we need to. So 6 public secondary schools gladly accepted. So what we do is that we have a roster for all the schools. So one school comes on Monday, they come with all the students. A teacher leads them. They use the facility. I have a manager in that hub. So they work there. Another school on Tuesday. Another school on Wednesday. Another school. They have a roster for the schools and for the period that they work free of charge. Okay? And then we have people who come in the evening for CBT lessons, computer-based. Now, what I realized at that time is that it is not that people don't know all this maths and English when they are doing JAMB. It is for the fact that many people, it is on the day of JAMB that they are seeing computer for the first time in their lives. Because many schools don't have. So we have to solve that problem. It is not about writing articles. It's not about sitting there. It's not about shouting. I believe in demonstration, but that is not enough. It is about moving from influence to impact. There is something everybody sitting here can do to move us forward a little bit towards nation building. Nations are not built by politicians.
Yes, sir.
They are actually built by people like you and I. If you are waiting for politicians to come and build your nation, you will wait forever. Businessmen, people like us, are the people who actually build nations. Not politicians who are just thinking about the next time. It is people like you and I who actually build nations, who have a stake more than a politician. Okay? So give me the next slide. Next slide. Okay, that was me. Next slide. Now, just was trying to access some of the things that we have been able to do there. Because this October is going to be 2 years, non-stop. I run it. Initially, I wanted to hand it over to our Audio Development Union. But there were a lot of, let's sort of a committee, let help, and this one. I said, after I've done this, I said, okay, no problem. So I run it. I paid the salaries of those who work there for the past 2 years from the salary I earn as a banker. Right? The security men, everything, I run it. When anything is damaged and they need to repair, they call me, I repair it. But I will tell you what that does, which is what I want to challenge everybody here to be. Because you see, what this does is all of us can go back to our individual communities. It might not be as grand as this, it might be something small. What this does, it makes you a gatekeeper. Let me tell you, what everybody should aspire to be is to become a gatekeeper. If you are a gatekeeper in your community, they will have to pass through that gate to access your community. They have come to meet me and say, Kilefe contest. I said, I'm not contesting for anything. Yeah, they have come to meet me. I said, no, I'm not contesting for anything. In fact, my manager, the manager of that hub, mistakenly allowed one politician, he came with some people, they now took pictures. I now saw it on social media. So I called him, I queried him. And I said, no, that place is not for political whatever. No, they now wore t-shirts of a political. I said, no way. No. So they called me. And then the king of my town has been calling me regularly. We talk. Gatekeeper. All right? And what this has done is, and I'm going to show you later. Okay, so we have had two boot camps, training participants in web development. Don't forget that what we wanted to do before was just CBT tests, web development, coding, digital marketing, and AI. Okay? 6 secondary schools in Odiomo receive weekly digital training lessons. We do free JAM CBT classes. Now, sometimes last year, the government sent a delegation to visit the hub. And they expressed support and appreciation. They've been saying a lot of things on social media, so decided to come and see. They described the initiative as a model for rural development that should be replicated in other communities. Then, later on that year, somebody from Odua Investment, they have one arm. I've forgotten the name now. They came and they called me. No. There's this, I will remember later. And the person said he heard about it, was passing through the town, decided to stop to see whether it is true. The manager of the hub did not even know, but the guy just came, looked around, took pictures, got my number, and called me and said they wanted to interview me. I said, well, I don't go for interviews. I don't appear. They wanted to interview me live, I think a radio, whatever. I said, no. So I turned it down. I said, but whatever question you want, I will answer. And he said, this is something they want to replicate in so many places across the Southwest. And then there was a serving House of Rep member who called me and said, please, can I do plug and play? Exactly what you have done, I want to replicate it in my own community too. I said, with all pleasure. When you are ready, tell me. I have the model, it is working, I'll give you. So for me, that is impact. When people can begin to light their fire from your altar, from the same candle, you have moved from influence to impact. Now, it will get to a point in time, anybody that wants to contest for anything in my community, he will come and meet me. I have become a gatekeeper. This is how to become a gatekeeper. This is how to become a gatekeeper. What you need to aspire for in nation building is to become gatekeepers at our different levels. Gatekeepers at our different levels, okay? So, part of what we're doing, community support services, we have had people as far as Ekiti. Come. Ekiti test come, CBT. They came for examination assistance. Recruitment registration services. We have done NLP training with UNICEF and Ministry of Education. Right there. Right there. Next slide. Okay? Now, This is what we normally do when we do boot camp. Another boot camp is going to happen when they have a long holiday. It will be the third boot camp. It's usually instructor-led sessions, practical assignment exercises, real-world projects. They do group collaboration. There are mentorship sessions and weekly assessments. And participants always spend at least 70% of their time on practical work. So I bring facilitators from Lagos, from different places, to spend. The next one, they're going to have 3 facilitators. Each one is going to spend 1 week in that community and teach them. Okay? Next slide. Now, skill tracks overview. The next boot camp we're going to do, this is what they're going to do. Artificial intelligence and prompt engineering. All right? Participants are going to be introduced in that rural community to AI tools. Okay? They're going to do video production and content creation right there. And then they're going to do data analysis and Microsoft Excel for business in that place. You know what that does? In 10, 15 years, the kind of skill set that is going to develop in that community, people will just be wondering, why is it that everybody, a lot of the tech people in Nigeria are from Odeomu, and they will not know. And they would not know. This is how nations are built. This is how nations are built. From your own small sphere, you take what you can do and you do it well. Look, we have to stop talking and start doing. We have to stop talking. Nigeria is a nation of 200 million talkers. We talk and shout. See, they have been shouting since our parents were born. Has anything changed? But when we start to do and execute, one person at a time. Nation building of 100 hectares race. It is a marathon. And we have to be consistent and keep up with it. Next slide. Is that the final slide? No? So this is the weekly curriculum. So that I just try to share this so that people can see part of what we do there. Okay, look at artificial intelligence and prompt engineering. Look at their curriculum. Week 1, they will look at foundations of AI. Week 2, they will look at advanced applications. Week 3, productivity and automation. Week 4, project development. They'll be looking at capstone and all of that. Look at video production and content creation. They'll look at content foundation, storytelling and branding, content strategy, smartphone. Look, you have not seen anything. Give these people 3 years. What they will be able to do, you'll be shocked. Okay, growth and monetization, project development. Look at data analysis. Look at what they're going to be able to do. That's a detailed weekly curriculum. Things that we have been doing for the past 2 years, apart from the normal CBT, jam lessons, and all the other things. Okay, next. We're running on. Okay, so governance or politics of nation building isn't just about policy papers in Abuja. For me, it is about creating access points in Odeomu. So we need to begin into value. Now, do you think Boko Haram will easily come to recruit anybody from that environment, given what is happening here? Do you think any of those people, if I show you the video of the people they brought from Ilekeu to come and be doing computer courses here, and the appreciation video that they call them their name, one name, the leader of that Ilekeu, Ustaz, that the Ustaz, the appreciation video that the Ustaz did, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. And that's how we can begin to go beyond influence to impact. Influence young minds. And when we influence them, when we begin to impact on them, you will discover a lot of things that will begin to happen. You know, because you are building something very solid, you know, in their life. So nation building happens one hub, one skill, one youth at a time. And for me, I believe that the mandate of the modern man is to convert your access into access for others. That's nation building. Your own access, what you are doing. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you here. You are here, you are earning salary. There's something you should be doing. There's something you should be doing. Don't wait until you are a big man. Don't wait until you have all the millions in the world. Even if it is one young person you are mentoring part-time. So many years ago when I was in Ibadan here, and I'll round up with this. I think I'm done. I think that's the last slide, yeah. But I'll round up with this. I was in Ibadan then as a regional banquet for Southwest. So I had a farm. I'm also a farmer. I had a farm somewhere after Wofun Olodo. So I had the farm, I had the yam farm, I was farming pineapple, I was farming yam and tomatoes. So in front of my farm, there is a small school that is actually attended by the children of the farmers in that community. Most of them are from even outside Nigeria, but they can speak smattering Yoruba, but there are a lot in that community. They are farm hands. So one day I went with my farm manager to look at the farm. And as we were coming, we passed in front of the school. And as we passed in front of the school, there were children in the classes. And I saw my farm manager. He ran into one of the class and started beating one of the child. I said, why are you beating somebody's children? He said, Oga, didn't you hear what they were saying? I said, I didn't hear. So I entered the class. And when I entered, I saw something very vulgar. They wrote something very vulgar. I can't say it. It's vulgar. The oldest child in the class was actually teaching the other children that vulgar thing. He was asking them to repeat after him. So my farm manager heard and was beaten. So I now saw the children in the class. I said, where are your teachers? He said, on lost sign. Those days, and I'm talking of not too many years ago, they will come to main Ibadan here. No teacher was there. All of them came to Ibadan to come and sign. So I said, okay, which class are you? I asked that at He said, I'm in primary 5. I looked at the smaller one. I said, which class are you? He said, I'm in primary 4. Which class are you? I said, I'm in primary 3. I said, so where are your classes? He said, all of us are here. I said, how many classes in this classroom? He said, 4 classes. Yeah, I did a video on it that went viral. I did a video because I was interviewing those children. I did a video. So many years ago, I didn't want to was the governor then. So many years ago, I did a video. Went viral. So, and I said, how can there be 4 classes here? He said, primary 2 and primary 3, they are facing here. Primary 4 and primary 5, they are facing here. Yeah, they have 2 boards. One board like this, one board like this. Now, this board, they divided it into 2. So I said, but how can 4 classes be going on at the same time? I'm telling you real life so that you understand that if you don't care about all these little people around you, they are the people that will come and trouble you in future and trouble your children, God forbid. And that's why everybody must be interested in nation building. Nation building cannot be left to politicians. They will mess things up. So I said, so what is, how do you do it? He said 2 classes go on simultaneously. How? If primary 2 teacher, 2 and 3, they are facing here. Primary 2 teacher will be teaching. Primary 3, they will put their head on the desk. Primary 4 teacher will be teaching. Primary 5, they will put their head on the desk. So 2 classes will be going on at the same time. When those 2 classes finish, the other 2 classes will finish. This one will also put their head on the desk. So I did the video and it went viral. So somebody saw the video. And I'm running up. Somebody saw the video and said, after the video, what next? And that's the question I'm asking you. After you have listened to this, what next? What action are you going to take? He said, can't we do something? The lady called me. She used to be one of my former staff. Said, Ogabi, is there nothing we can do? After the video, people are aware. We have raised enough noise. Isn't there something we can do? So I went back to that school. The day I went back to that school, and I met the teachers. I met the headmistress. When I introduced myself, video, they want to shut down the school. The government has come to us that why are we embarrassing them? They want to shut down the school. I said, don't worry, ma, what can we do to help? Then she told me they don't have chalk, they don't have cup, but I looked at the whole place. And I looked at the fact that it was one of those MDG, SDG schools, Millennium Development Goals. And with that, they would do a borehole, do so many things, but those schools are falling into disrepair. Then I noticed that they have a borehole in that school, which is supposed to be for the community. But the borehole has failed. So I asked them, where do you get water in your community? They said, everybody goes to the river. So I got an idea. I went to Mokola, and I'm happy I'm in Ibadan, so I can tell you all these things happened right here in Ibadan. I went to Mokola. At that Mokola roundabout, there's somebody that does all these Jangulova, that does all these slides, local slides. So I bought 3 play equipments. I bought a slide, the one you can slide down. I bought the one that they rotate on it, and I bought the swing. 3. And then I called the plumber to go to that community and repair the borehole. So they took the Jangulova and all those and took it there and put it. They have a massive playground. They put it there, and the day they dropped it, the following day, 7 a.m. No, 6:30 a.m. I got a call. I said it was a call that actually woke me because I was very tired. It was the headmistress that was calling me. I picked the phone and she was crying on the phone. I'm telling you this story before God, Ama. She was crying on the phone. I said, Mama, Shekosi, because I was scared. As she was crying, she was praying for me. I said, what is it? She said, I just came to school. All those children, because they are children of farmers, we used to go inside their house to be begging their parents to bring them to school. Their parents will be saying, we want to use them to farm. He said, we got here today and all of them were on the playground. Everybody in that community was on the playground because of that equipment. Everybody came to school. Everybody came to school. And the woman told me, please, sir, why don't you adopt this school? So I adopted that school. That year, I took Father Christmas there. First time, most of those children were seeing Father Christmas in their lives. When I took Father Christmas there, the whole community came out. Everybody, including the ballet is blind. Everybody came out. Because of that, I had to cook rice for everybody. It was like everybody came to watch Father Christmas. You know what they told me after? They said, Oga, that I should come and take more land to farm. They said, if I don't even have the money, I can give them the money later. I'm telling you about that in this community. So for about 5 years, I adopted them. Some things happened and I left later. But I adopted them. All the children in that school, 2 pairs of uniform every time. Many of them come to school without sandals. I buy shoe for them. I buy blackboard. I buy, And some of them wanted to go to secondary school. Then it was just 40 naira or so. But they can't afford it. So I pay for all those who want to do all those secondary school living certificates, common entrance, so that they can go. And many of those children are there. I don't know them, but I know that they know me. Those children will never forget you. And you are building the nation one person at a time. God bless you.
Please. No, I'll take your question. Please, can we celebrate Pastor Bayo once again? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. All right, please, let's take our seats. Pastor said we're a nation of talkers. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Now you should be impactors, not influencers. You should be impactors. You should be people trying to do things. All right, do we have questions for Pastor Bayo? Can I see show of hands so we can take numbers? All right, so number 1, number 2 in the green, number 3, sir, number 4 here, number 5, on 6, 7, 8, 9, and you will be 10. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but let's try and make it as quick as possible. You can give Pastor the mic. All right, so please, actually, can you come out number 1 to 10, if you don't mind, just to make it easy. Oh, you want to write it? Sure, I'll read it for you. Please, can we come out, because we're obviously going to be short for time. If we could just come here, the 10 people that took their numbers first, please, and then we'll take the questions so that we can move it on, just on my right, please, as quickly as possible. All right, please. Okay, while you wait for your question, or while you write your question, let's start with, let's give our coppers the chance. You have to be very quick. I know you appreciate Pastor, and so let's just go straight to the question.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. So you were speaking on impact, that's from influence to impact. Now, as COP members, there's always one question that are always faced with. That's after NYSC, what's next? Now, we are still trying to get that phase of what next. Now, how are we going to even put impact in the society when we ourselves, we are still trying to figure out our own selves?
Good question. Second, let's take about 3. Good question, thank you. Solid.
Sir, what I wanted to ask was about the projects you did in your town. Okay, you said they were disturbing you at a point in time when you were about starting up the project, and they said you had to take for permission from the government. Sir, at least the little thing understanding that we have is that it's not easy to have access to someone in power. So how were you able to go around it to seek for permission from that kind of person? And in that kind of situation, some people might be trying to collect from you through bribery and all those things. So how were you able to maneuver your...
Thank you. Beautiful question too. You guys are rock solid question.
Sorry?
Okay. Let me just speak to those 2 questions. Number 1, copper. Now, let me tell you, I served in Port Harcourt. I served in 1999, finished year 2000. And I served at an engineering construction company, which is still there in Port Harcourt, MCC. But you know what I did with 2 other coppers that were with me? The second copper, we attended LAUTECH together. The third one, copper, went to Moore Plantation in Ibadan. The one that went to Moore Plantation is an assistant professor now in LAUTECH. The second other guy, unfortunately, is late. But the 3 of us, after we were at different places of primary assignment, after we finished, there was a community school in that area where we were living at Nkpolurumuigbo in Port Harcourt. We went there to teach. Imagine me after finishing during the day in the engineering. That's not where they posted me. We went, the 3 of us. Me, I was teaching English and 2 other subjects. One guy was teaching physics, whatever, chemistry. One other guy, biology and other. Free of charge, without collecting any money from those children. After school, we just did after school classes, gathering them together because that was what we could do. See, everything is not about money. You understand? You can start from where you are. Maybe organizing community, doing something for your community. It can even be about talking to people about drug abuse. Okay? About substance abuse and talking to some other people. There are so many groups that you coppers have. We had it in our days too. I don't know if you still have it. You can belong to one. No, I'm not even talking about those CDS groups. There are some other groups that have to do with maybe substance abuse, different things like that. We used to have it during our days. I don't know if they have. So you can belong to one and decide, all of you collectively, because if you want to do it alone, you might not be able to go far. But if you have people who are like-minded, you are able to motivate yourself and pull yourself together collectively. There might be something you can do. So find something to do. And I believe that you also would have contributed significantly. I know there are some other people, some try to dig boreholes for the communities where they are, some will build statues, some will be, just make sure you do something that will contribute to your society. Thank you. And then for the second question, yes, face difficulty. And let me tell you, nothing good will ever come easy. It will never come easy. If I tell you what I faced in that place, if I tell you what I faced while I was doing it, but I was convinced it was the right thing to do because I wanted to help that place. In fact, on the day we were going to launch it, because I invited the state governor to come, so he sent a commissioner to come because I had to send them videos of what we have done. They could not believe it. In fact, I heard that they were asking themselves that, is the guy a politician? They were asking themselves, is the guy a politician? So when they did background check on me and saw that I was not a politician, so they decided to send somebody to come. When that commissioner came, I won't mention his name, and we went to receive him on the day we opened that place, that hall, the commissioner said, I would not have come. Oh, I would not have come. I said, Honorable Commissioner, what did we do? He said, because you addressed your letter to a wrong commissioner. Just like that. I addressed the letter to the commissioner because I thought it was under ICT, education. So I sent it to education. He said, no, I should have sent it to the commissioner on information, technology, something, something, something. Just because, and the only thing he could tell me was, I didn't want to come. I looked at him. If I were to answer him, he would be very annoyed. Because I would tell him, I don't need you here. But I had to give honor to him. I just said, Emma Bino, Honorable Commissioner. And he said, after he looked around, if you see the pictures, he was now praising us. It will be a model that we will encourage Mr. Governor to now adopt and all of that. So you will always face challenges when you are doing any good thing. All right? But find a way to work around it. I went around through the school principal, okay, through my own development union. There was somebody who was there also. So when all of them saw the prototype we wanted to do, they took up the fight. And they went and got the approval by myself. I did not step my foot inside Oshogbo to get the approval. They were the ones who did everything because they saw it was something that would move our community forward. And they knew it was not about tokenism. And I'm not saying anything against you want to give people food, you want to do this, you want to do that. They are all good. But they saw that this particular project was beyond that. It was actually going to transform that little town and transform it into a very powerful digital hub over the next 10 years. Yes.
Can we celebrate Pastor Bayo once again? All right, so this is how we're going to do it. Just straight to the question. Maybe some of them might be similar. Pastor can answer it as questions at once. Okay, so.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, I used to work in Oshogbo. So when I saw it on your profile, I actually checked it out. And I want to say, fantastic one, sir. My only question is, how did you manage community shenanigans? Because when I got there and I looked around, in my mind, I was thinking a lot must have gone on behind this. I know you didn't talk about it. I just wanted you to say a bit of, just to help people who want to do something similar.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I actually want to ask, maybe you need to throw more light into it. Probably at that time you are an influential billionaire to have established such a thing. Now, could you please, for some of us that have in mind to, carry out projects like that, how did you fund it?
Okay.
I'm sure if, I don't know, just...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I'm a pastor and very close. I have a very strong project on this that we have been building in my denomination. And for like 3 years now, we have been consecutive in hosting conferences and seminars. So I strongly believe that in nation building, as you have rightly taught us that, and that the church has a very strong role, if not the strongest role to play, more than the government. So I don't really have a question. It's in form of an encouragement, though it's all on funding. I'm the leader of the project, all right, and we have people working with us, but it's dragging, communicating people, trying to bring the church into that mindset that we can actually do more. We can, raise all this project and all these schools, academy, and fund it. I may not have the money, but I feel that there are people that have it. So I think the area of influencing, I'm doing more of influencing, teaching, writing, authoring things. So I just wanted to, All
right. So my question is, in a situation where a person have about multiple things in their mind that they want to do, like impact, for instance, a person who wants to be a teacher, wants to be an event planner, who wants to do so many things, how do they go about on fixating on a particular one? And can an impact be made actually without any financial commitment to it?
All right. Thank you. And then the last one here, which is written, is I'm an ethical hacker. How can I bring like-minded hackers together to change Nigeria and impact people's lives to become billionaires and make the security system of Nigeria strong?
Okay, thank you.
Do you mind? Well, time is... please, sir, can I get the template for Odeomu's project? And is it possible to get guidance and mentoring on such?
Okay, thank you very much. Lovely, lovely, fantastic questions. Okay, the first one, how did we deal with all the local shenanigans? And there were local shenanigans. Very local shenanigans. But, I approached this particular project through my development union. So number one, because we have a WhatsApp group, and I shared the templates, So all of them were sold on it, up to the king. As a matter of fact, when we started building, the community gave us local security guards to be there. The only thing they said is, I said, of course. But it was local guards that were there. I didn't see you, sir. Yes, sir. Please, let's appreciate Pastor Popola. Sorry. Sorry. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, they were all involved. Now, by the time I now wanted to hire somebody, the manager of the hub is actually from my town. I hired somebody who is from the town. Okay? So everybody was involved. We have an executive committee that was set up by our development union. And the leader of the executive committee is a retired principal, also from that town, who lives in that town. Okay? So the only thing is, I ensure that I pay for everything. I manage it, I still run it. But for some other day-to-day activities, the executive committee is in charge. So, everything is local. Everything is local. When you want to do something like that, please, try and go local. Go to the people who matter in that environment, in that community, talk to them and all of that. Everything is local, really. Okay, funding. Okay, now, the truth is, I am a banker. I funded everything from my savings and from my salaries. I did not take a dime from anybody. I didn't take a dime from anybody. I didn't borrow from anybody. I took it from my savings together with my wife. We agreed, and I decided that was what I was going to do. It took us some time to be able to achieve all that, but I took everything from my salary. I still pay everything from my salary to date. In terms of the manager of the hub, the security, when things are bad and all of that. And like I said, that place has been running, it's going to be 2 years in October. 24/7 on solar. Light has never gone out in that place. That's the only place in my community where there's light 24/7. The only place. And people actually come there to read. People come there to read and all of that. Okay? So, what I will encourage you to do is whatever you want to do, start small. You don't need to have shared with you here, I bought Jangilova, right? How much is that? Really, and took it to a school that was in front of my farm. Okay? When I built my house, my first house in this Ibadan, one thing I also want, because I was thinking, how do I influence the community, the environment? Some things are very simple. You know what I did? Because in that place, if you go to that place, there are a lot of issues with water. I will see people carrying water on their head. Carrying all this bath on their head and looking for water. You know what I did? I just put 2 taps in front of my house. Because I have borehole in my house. So I put 2 taps. No, here in Ibadan, in Nayot, my house here. So, because in that area, there's no water. You will see people take kegs and they're looking for water. So when I was building the house, and I have a borehole. So what I do is, I put 2 taps there. Now, I have solar in my house here. So the borehole can run 24 hours. And I've instructed my security that is there. How many days do I sleep there in a year? But I tell the security guard, every day you must pump water. People must have water. So sometimes when I come, I see people fetch water. You know what that does? Everybody there will be praying. Anthony Le, Allah Abawa Dabobo, Allah Abawa Show, Allah Abawa Pamo. If there's anything happening in that community, they are forced to tell me. Okay? So you don't need to have a lot of money to do certain things. You just need to have the heart, the will, the love for the people to be able to do it. Okay? Somebody asked, you have multiple ideas and all of that. I will say, please, start small. Okay? Start small. Don't be a jack of all trades and master of none. There are a lot of times you are trying to juggle so many things. Many of us are like that. Okay? But sit down, count the cost, look at the plan, Start from the one that is easiest. You see, once you have achieved something, you have enough faith, enough leverage to be able to go on to higher things. So start small. Ethical hacker, beautiful question. Beautiful, and that is something that, a lot of people will be paying for later in the future. Maybe you can start by just doing a little seminar about what it is about, so that people can understand. Because, when people hear the concept hacker, they think it is negative. Okay? But it is not. So maybe you need to share that in your own little space. Maybe you can even start from your own social media, from Facebook. What is ethical hacking? And you break it down into different modules. Okay? Begin to explain it. Do some small videos to explain what it means to people. As you do that, you will start attracting some followership. You will begin to do some free seminars until you build a community, okay, where you are able to explain to people what it is about, and all of you can come together as a force. You can look at something positive that you guys can contribute to. Can you help the police? We have the police who have come here. Is there something you can help them to do? Is there something you can help the fire people to do? Is there something that's a problem you can solve using your knowledge of ethical hacking? Okay? When people see that those are the kind of things you can do, they will begin to give you more opportunities. I wish you well. Okay? And somebody
need somebody to introduce him to like the security agencies so they don't probably label him if they hear Aka.
That is why I said, number one, people need to understand what it means. A lot of people don't, when you don't understand certain concepts, people go haywire because of it. So when you start in your own, I believe you're on social media. When you start with explaining the concepts, there are certain things that take time to gain ground, but you have to be consistent. Explain what the concept is. Let us see the positive use, what it means. Okay? By the time you do that consistently, and then you build a small followership, you can now make a representation. When you identify a problem you need to solve with that thing, and say, look, we have identified this problem. I can do a POC. I can do a prototype. I can do a demonstration to show you how I can solve this problem. And they invite you, and they see it. By the time they see it, and maybe one person tries it, the motivation for now is not about money. It's about solving the problem. Okay? Don't put money forward. It's about solving a problem. When you do that, then it will begin to gain currency, it will begin to gain ground. Okay? But just start. Just start something. Just start. Okay. So template. Somebody asked about the template. If you want the template, it's free. Okay, just approach me. I'll show you the template. It's plug and play. All my guys, the architect who did this is in our church. Okay, and he has all the templates. I'll just introduce you to it. What I want people to gain from this place is go and do likewise. All right? God bless you. Thank you.
Please let's celebrate Pastor Bayo Adeyinka properly.